Welcome back to our economics class session number 2 today. Okay, so standard deviation, we completed different methods to find out the standard deviation. Okay, so standard deviation is strictly connected with the mean, we know it. Okay, so the last and final comment related with the standard deviation here, that is page number 85. So there are two classworks. Some people completed and send me the answer, and I already give you two homeworks also. Okay, that also want to complete and send me by tomorrow. If the people, those who not completed the first classwork, two classworks, that plus, okay, classwork plus homework, total 4 in number. Okay, please complete that task and send me the answer. Okay, next one, standard deviations. A comment related with standard deviation. Standard deviation, the most widely used measure of dispersion, okay, is based on all values. So standard deviation that is related with all the values in the data set. Therefore, a change in even one value affect the value of the standard deviation. Clear? So you are creating a small error in the calculation, it will make a mistake. The entire data will goes wrong. Okay. So it is independent of origin but not of scale. Okay, the standard deviation is independent than the origin but not of the scale, means if a slight change in the data, the entire answer will go wrong. Okay, just keep that idea in mind. It is also useful in certain advanced statistical problems. So standard deviation today is using most advanced statistical to get the answer of most advanced statistical problems. Okay, so we completed the task to find out the mean deviation MD and the standard deviation SD. Okay, the sigma, that's a symbol for representing the standard deviation. Okay, now we are moving to the next topic for we people, that is absolute and relative measures of dispersion. Okay, absolute and relative measures of dispersion. All the measures described so far are absolute measures of dispersion. So mean deviation or standard deviation, what we discussed earlier, okay, is considering as absolute measures of dispersion. They calculate a value which at times is difficult to interpret. Okay, so single values are difficult to interpret, so that because of that we are going to find out the variation. Okay, the deviation, mean deviation and standard deviation. For example, consider the following two data sets. Here you can see two data sets are there, set A, okay, and set B. So the question is to find out the range. Okay, suppose the values in set A are the daily sales recorded by an ice cream vendor. Okay, a roadside ice cream vendor, his sales per day, okay, basically for 3 different days, 500, 700 and 1000 rupees. Okay, so data is here 500, 700, 1000 rupees. That is set A here, set A. And set B, another one set of data, 1 lakh, 1,20,000 and 1,30,000. 1,30,000. Okay. Suppose the values in set A are the daily sales recorded by an ice cream vendor, while set B has the daily sales of a big departmental store, means a mall or a, what we can say, a supermarket. Okay, range for set A is 500 range. Okay, L minus S. Okay, 1000 minus 500, you go to 500 here, whereas set B, it is 30,000. The range is 30,000. How it is 1,30,000 minus 1 lakh. So the range is 30,000. So the value of range is much higher in set B. Okay. So range, the value of range is much higher in set B. Okay. Can you say that the variation in sales is higher for the departmental store? Okay, of course, right. Because they are selling more products comparing with the ice cream vendor. It can be easily observed that the highest value in set A is double the smallest value. Come back to the set of data. Set A, the highest value it is 1000. Highest value is 1000. The lowest one or small value it is 500. So the highest value is just double than the lowest value. But coming to the case B, it is only 30% higher. 30% higher. But you just observe the digits there. A huge difference is there in the digits. Clear? Okay, so it is not that easy to find out the difference between these two numbers there. Thus, absolute measures may give a misleading idea. So, these methods, these absolute measures, sometimes will give misleading ideas about the extent of variation, the maximum difference between the numbers, datas. Okay, especially when the average differ significantly. Another weakness of absolute measure is that they give the answer in the units. Underline all these things there. What are the troubles with the absolute measures? Okay, drawbacks of absolute measures. Another weakness of absolute measures is that they give the answer in the units in which original value are expressed. Okay, so answer also should be there in the original value, measures of the original value. For example, if the values are expressed in kilometers, in the data set, the values are expressed in kilometers, the dispersion will also be in kilometers. Clear? The deviation also should be right in the kilometers. Okay. However, if the same values are expressed in meters, so the values are in kilometers and you are writing the dispersion in meters. Okay, one problem is there. What is that? An absolute measure will give the answer in meters and the value of dispersion will appear in 1000 times. So students, listen carefully. Hello, can you hear me? There is a small technical issue. So be online. I will contact you within a short time. Okay, thank you. Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Hello, can you hear me, guys? Hello,
Yes,
hello.
sir.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, guys, come back. Okay, so here it is. This is the second paragraph. We are here. Another weakness of the absolute measures is that they give the answer in the units in which original values are expressed. Okay, consequently, if the values are expressed in kilometers, the dispersion should be in kilometers. However, if the same values are expressed in meters, okay, if same values are expressed in meters, what will happen there? 1,000 times you want to repeat that. Clear or not? Okay, 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer, right? Okay, so problem will be there. To overcome these problems, relative measures of dispersion can be used. Each absolute measure has a relative counterpart. Thus, for range, this is a coefficient of range which is calculated as follows. So, we are using the coefficient of range, not just the range, but the coefficient of the range. So, here you can see coefficient of range is equal to L minus S divided by L plus S. Okay, whereas L is the largest value and S is the smallest value. So just to go for a simple calculation to find out the coefficient of this data. Okay, first do it. First find out the set A, next find out the set B, coefficient of range. Do it first and tell me the answer. Come on fast. Okay. Come on, send me the answer in the chat box. It's called to be the coefficient of range. Okay, so the equation is coefficient of range is equal to L minus S divided by L plus S. So 1,000 minus 500 divided by 1,000 plus 500. Okay, so 500 divided by 1,500 1 by 3, correct? Okay, do it fast. Like that, the next set. Send the answer in the chat box. Okay, Karthik and Aishwarya, only two answers I received so far. Come on, fast. Come on, guys. Simple calculation. Make it fast. Okay, Aditya, correct answer. Okay, so come back. Next one. So coefficient of range, it is L minus S divided by L plus S. Okay. So where L is the largest value and S is the smallest value. Okay. Similarly, for quartile deviation also, it is a coefficient of quartile deviation. We are going for to find out the coefficient of quartile deviation, which can be calculated as follows. Coefficient of quartile deviation is equal to Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1. Clear? Where Q3 is the third quartile and Q1 is the first quartile. We know that, right? Okay, I will send some examples for you people. For tomorrow, you just complete that. Okay, so just note down coefficient of quartile deviation. Coefficient of quartile deviation, the equation is nothing but Q3 minus Q1 divided by Q3 plus Q1. Okay, Q3 is the third quartile and Q1 is the first quartile. Q1 is the first quartile. Next one, for mean deviation, coefficient of mean deviation. Okay, Aditya answers are correct. Anila, error is there in the answer. Check it. Okay, next one, for mean deviation, it is coefficient of mean deviation. So coefficient of mean deviation is equal to mean deviation for the mean divided by the mean. Clear? Clear? Okay, mean deviation x bar is equal to mean. X bar is the mean here. Okay, the actual mean. Okay, x bar is the actual mean. So mean deviation of the actual mean divided by the actual mean, or if it is for the median, okay, MD, I mean mean deviation for the median divided by the median, right? That's what the equation for to find out the coefficient of different values, coefficient of range, coefficient of the quartile deviation, coefficient of the mean deviation, coefficient of the mean deviation. Thus, the mean deviation is calculated on the basis of mean. It is divided by the mean. If the mean is used to calculate by using mean deviation, it is divided by the, sorry, if the median is used to calculate the mean deviation, it is divided by the median. That's what the two equations are here. If you are used the actual mean to find out the mean deviation, the equation is like this: MD multiply, I mean MD for mean deviation divided by the mean, okay, actual mean. If it is median, mean deviation for median, that divided by the median. Clear? That is the equation for to find out the coefficient of mean deviation for two methods, for with mean and with median. Okay, next one, for standard deviation. For standard deviation, the relative measures is called the coefficient of variation, calculated as below. So for the standard deviation, coefficient of variation is equal to standard deviation divided by the arithmetic mean into 100. Write down standard deviation divided by the arithmetic mean should be multiplied with 100. Okay. Okay, note down that all these equations are important. So it is usually expressed in percentage terms and is the most commonly used relative measure of dispersion, since relative measures are free from the units in which the values have been expressed. They can be compared even across. So this method basically in percentage, so it is free from the units. Clear? So accurate data will be there. They can be compared even across different groups having different units of measurement. So we are able to use the percentage. Okay, that's what the coefficient of variation for the standard deviation is equal to the standard deviation divided by the arithmetic mean multiplied by 100. Clear? Okay, so hope these ideas are clear. So we are moving to the last part of this chapter. It is the Lorentz curve. Studied in mathematics, right? Lorentz curve studied or not? Tell me. Not yet? Hello. Tell me. What about this Lorentz curve? You studied or not? In junior classes? Or in applied maths? Not studied yet. Aditya, tell me Aditya, studied or not?
No, sir.
No, no idea about that. Okay, so we will study now. Okay, the Lorentz curve. So the measures of dispersion discussed so far give a numerical value of dispersion. Okay, so far we used the numerical values. Okay, so graphical method also is there to present the data to find out the deviation. So a graphical measure called the Lorentz curve is available for estimating inequalities in distribution. So far we used the numerical method to find out the dispersion. Okay, now a graphical method also is there to find out the dispersion here, to estimate the dispersion. Okay, you may have heard about statements like top 10% of the people of a country earn 50% of the national income. So in economics we are learning all these kind of statements. Okay, microeconomics or macroeconomics will learn this type of statement there. What is that? Top 10% of the people, they are or they earn 50% of the national income, while top 20% account for 80% of the national income. Clear? So top 10, 50%, 10 to 20, 30%, right? Altogether 80. Clear or not? So top 20 percentage accounts nearly 80% of the national income. An idea about income disparities is given by such figures. So these figures are saying income disparity, differences between earnings of different people in the society. That's also in percentage, in a percentage. An idea about income disparities given by such figures, Lorentz curve uses the information expressed in a cumulative manner to indicate the degree of inequality. For example, Lorentz curve of income gives a relationship between percentage of population and its share of income in the total income. Okay, here remember one thing. Lorentz curve of income gives a relationship between percentage of the population and its share of income in the total income. Okay, it is specially useful in comparing the variability of two or more distributions by drawing two or more Lorentz curve on the same axis. Okay, we are able to show the variation between different data sets. Okay, that's what it is especially useful in comparing the variability of two or more distributions by drawing two or more Lorentz curve on the same axis. Clear? And today we are going to find out some steps to create or draw the Lorentz curve. Okay, so construction of the Lorentz curve, etc. Maybe ask for 3 mark. Okay, method steps to construct a Lorentz curve. So data set is here. Data are provided. Okay, frequency also here. First of all, calculate the class midpoint to obtain column number 2 of the table 6.4. So here it is, table number 6.4 we people. We are here. Okay, table number 6.4. First of all, what do we want to do? We want to find out the midpoint. Midpoint, we know that, again repeating, midpoints. Okay, so in midpoint, what we want to do here? Lower limit plus the upper limit divided by 2. So this data, 2,500, 7,500, 15,000, 30,000 and 45,000. We got it. Second step, Calculate the estimated total income of employees in each class by multiplying the midpoint of the class by the frequency in the class. This obtain column number 4. What is that? Calculate the estimated total income of the employees by multiplying the midpoint of the class by the frequency in the class. This obtain column number 4. So frequencies are provided 5, 10, 18, 10, 7, 50. Okay. Clear? That's it. Next one. That's what? 2,500 into 5, 12,500. 7,500 into 10, 75,000. 15,000 into 18, 27,000. 30,000 into 10, 30,000. Sorry, 3 lakh. 4,000, sorry, 45,000 into 7, 3 lakh 15,000. Like that, we got or we created the fourth column. Okay. And want to add all this together, we got a 50. Clear? Yes or no? 5 plus 10 plus 18 plus 10 plus 7. What is the answer? What is the answer, Elvina? We got that. What is that?
50.
50. Okay, so that's it. Next one, fourth column. Add all these numbers together. Okay, 12,500, 75,000, 2 lakh 70,000, 3 lakh, 3 lakh 15,000. We adding all together, we got 9 lakh 72,500. Is that correct? Check it. Correct or not? Okay. So we completed up to here. Next, we want to prepare one more table numbered as 6.5. Table number 6.5. Here it is. Next page. Okay, so already we studied that less than Oj and more than Oj. Remembering that? Okay. So related with that, we want to prepare a less than cumulative frequency and income. Less than cumulative frequency and income. So come back to 6.4. The income, it is less than 5,000, less than 10,000, less than 20,000, less than 40,000, less than 50,000. Numbers are there, right? So we are out here. Less than 5,000, less than 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 50,000, and the percentage of those data. Okay, numbers are here, numbers are here. So how many are there? How many are there less than 20? Sorry, 5,000. How many are there? What is the percentage of them? 5 in number, right? 5 in number. Clear? Clear? So what is the percentage of that 5 out of that 50? So 50 is the entire data, right? Sigma f, that is a 50. So the first number less than 5,000, it is a 5. So the percentage is 10, right? Yes or no? Doubt is there. So want to go back to that chapter, less than and more than a J? Yes or no? Tell me. Okay, so no problem. It takes some time. So going back to that chapter, which chapter? Which chapter? Tell me which chapter? Aparna, any idea? Which chapter is that? What is the name of that chapter? No idea. Ashurya, checking that?
Presentation of data.
Presentation of data, correct. Presentation of data. In that chapter, we studied the preparation of less than a J and more than a J. Just observe that clearly. Learn that for tomorrow. We will explain this. Okay, I will explain this again, no problem. So, just to keep these ideas in your mind. Okay, so just keep these ideas in your mind. First of all, you want to prepare a table like this. Okay, up to here. Then 6.5, the cumulative frequency, you have to find out the percentage. Okay, less than method, less than method. So these are the steps here. Prepare less than cumulative frequency and cumulative income table, that is 6.5. In which column number 2, the table 6.5 shows the cumulative frequency of employees. Here, cumulative frequency of the employees. Column number 2, this column. Next one, 7. Column number 3 of table number 6.5 shows the cumulative income going to these persons. Cumulative income. Okay, going to these people there. Okay, want to find out the percentage related with the total income. Related with the total income. Total income is here. 9,72,500. Okay, in which what is the income of the 5% of people? I mean, number 5. Okay, 5. And for 10, and for 18, and for 10 again, and for 7 and 50. So you can see here. Okay, so data are provided here. Clear? Next step, draw a line. Okay, that we will do while completing all these things there. So just complete that for tomorrow. Now there's a homework for you to find out the standard deviation. Not homework, just a classwork. Coefficient of variation, standard deviation. Okay, so come back here. Here, this one. This table, just to find out the coefficient. All numbers are there. Just to find out the coefficient of a standard deviation for this data set. So just note down, just go back to the chapter, presentation of data, less than and more than object, learn that properly. The base of the chapter, base of the problem. Learn it properly and we will meet tomorrow. Just complete this and find out this standard deviation and show me. Just observe the equation here, that is standard deviation divided by the arithmetic mean into 100. So standard deviation is already, we got that, the standard deviation we got already, divided by the arithmetic mean. What is that? Find out the arithmetic mean. So not the assumed mean but the arithmetic mean. Remember arithmetic mean. Arithmetic mean is already here. That is 40.5, right? Not just the assumed mean, arithmetic mean, okay? Calculate. Now find that answer and send that. Hello. Okay, everyone, please turn on your cameras. So far, I received a number of answers here. Okay. So listen carefully. Complete the homeworks for tomorrow. And one more thing, it is want to learn the less than achieve and more than achieve and the method. Okay, how to prepare the table. Learn that for tomorrow, and we will meet in the next day. Okay, guys. Thank you very much.